Once I got to Purple Limited, I realized there were people already working inside. So definitely right now was not time for me to start meddling around the office and figure out more information. So instead of that, I started thinking, why not give it a go with the freelance work? I had a photograph and I could possibly have something else to pick it up. And that way run the time while I waited for the workers of Purple Limited to leave their workplace. It was a good idea. I could get money meanwhile on a simple task as taking a picture. How difficult could that be? So I go back to the previous photograph on Morgan Boulevard and try to find the briefcase. Again, I couldn't find it last time because I got the call to the murder case, as well as the strange guy calling me to get rid of a body, which I wasn't gonna try and do. So meanwhile, I waited for Purple Limited to be emptied out. I continued looking for this briefcase. I had already looked in most of the surroundings, but there was something in that picture. I think that red telephone cabin that could possibly have the final clue that I didn't look before. And lo and behold, there it was, the briefcase. This was it. The connecting dots. I was certainly getting closer to finding out the next steps for my mission. I closed the door, grabbed the briefcase, and opened it up. The job information had to be updated. I needed to take a photo of a target. Interesting. Who was the target? An unknown citizen who I had to go and look on the Club Cut burger joint. Their type was Fingertrim's AI. Their workplace, a Club Cut burger joint. So I had to go there and at least find out which of the workers was of that same fingerprint and get that picture. Not that difficult. I head down to the Club Cat burger joint to start my investigation. Once I get there, I see somebody working already in the entrance of the cash register. Could this be the target I needed to talk to? Of course, I didn't think the person was just gonna straight and easily give me their fingerprints. If they were being taken, somebody wanted their picture, it was probably for a reason. They were probably hiding. They owed something. They were trying to hide, or they could be helping on a murder for someone else or stalking the person. So tell me, could you provide me fingerprints? Of course not. Well, I'm the health inspector. I needed the information from this workplace, so I needed a guest pass. Would they be willing to give it to me? By a small amount of money. $30. And of course, a little bit of money always, most of the times, give you access to other things. So now with this small amount of time, 2 hours, which was enough, I started searching for more information, which there was possibly going to be a plenty in this space. I go into the office, which I think technically they allowed me to go into. Oh, this is the kitchen. I'm not gonna find anything in the kitchen. I see a couple of photographs, and this is gonna give me plenty of information. Bianco. He worked at the Club Cat burger joint, but he was not the person I needed to take a photograph. Alright, on to the next one then. I decided to, at least on this part, because it didn't seem that this information one is gonna have all of it, especially the fingerprints, I decided to just grab the employee's photo, so at least I could know who I was supposed to be looking forward to, and go and look at their computer, because possibly there I could find the fingerprints, just as I did with other murder cases I've been working on. Once I gather all the employees' pictures, names, and voices, I go into the office, which seems to be occupied by the manager, though the managers seem to be very occupied doing their own work. I don't think they're all gonna mind if I look around the drawers, where they are clearly gonna be having their files, possibly. There we go. Employee details. Employee record of Canon Fujimoto, but this was not the person. Wait, I already had a name. Or Nagui? And I had a picture. It was the lady that helped me out outside when I got in. That's why she didn't want to give me her fingerprints. And guess what? The employee details also had the type of fingerprint. This was it. This was the information I exactly needed. I mean, this was just to have more than circumstantial evidence than I did in other cases, okay? This is just for my own sake. I am trying to find and be as professional as possible. Type AI. This was it. This was the connection. This was the person I needed to take the picture from. So without any more hesitation, I leave the office and I have the person right in front of me. So this person probably didn't want their picture taken, so I needed to take the picture immediately and just run. So there we go. Picture taken. Job done. Now escape. Run. She was chasing me, of course. She didn't want the picture to be taken of her. But for some reason, I just decided to run around the corner. Run around corners is your best option to escape. I didn't dare to look behind me. I wasn't sure if the person was keeping up, which she didn't seem to. Okay, pursuit was very short. I expected her to be a little bit more gracious to be going after me because I had the picture of her. Quite a bright picture, but still the picture. They didn't say in what conditions I needed to do the picture. They just said they needed a picture. So I grab the picture and go to the place I needed to drop this in. Once I get to the spot, a hotel room, I go under the door and deliver the picture. Once I do, they process the information and I get my first payment of freelance work. Now with this has increased not only my amount of money available to me, but also I've gathered more social credit. Again, the only reason why I'm just trying to do this, right, is I want to get retired as a detective. It would be a good amount of money, and for me to be retired, no need for me to continue working anymore. I just needed to work till I was level 8 and then finally retire of this god-awful city. Right after finishing with that job, I opened a second freelance case that I had gathered while running around and gathering information from my previous freelance photography job. Now this one told me not to ask for somebody's in specific, but to call in a specific number. This number was just bound to do probably the same thing. They were providing me with more information. So I called the number and await my instructions. Hear about the job? Yes. Alright. I'll look out for you. Let's skip out Rivera. Although, while I'm doing this whole freelance work, I cannot stop thinking about the murder case. Owen Morrell. No more information has been going on about him. I just knew I had to get into his workplace to find out more information about him. Maybe there were emails in his computer in there that could lead me to new things. So I decided to talk to, in this case, if this was Rivera. And it was. Okay, tell me who this somebody is. Are in the briefcase, of course. Once again, to the same hotel, although different floor. I take the briefcase. Open it up. Why are you looking at me so angry? I'm trying to do a job for you, okay? Sheesh. People these days in this city, you try to help them out and immediately they look at you like the face of a creep. I open the information. I have a target. How much information is this person willing to give me to take the picture of their target? Which kinda makes me wonder, if they know who the target is, why are they just giving me a couple of crumbles of information, like a fingerprint? And that's it. A build large? Okay, more information. Lives on the ground floor of McKinney Towers. Lives in McKinney Towers. Well, at least I had an apartment to go to. They live there. They have to be there, right? Or possibly they were at work. I don't know. I head out. I don't talk to this person anymore. I truly wish I could, and I should, because how dare you just tell me to go and take a picture of a target and not even give me a picture? How are you going around asking for people to get someone's picture without showing the... I guess that makes sense. You know what? Forget it. That makes sense. If they don't have a picture, how they're gonna tell me how the person looks like? Alright. Case in point, I guess. Once I get to the apartment, I just decide I need to get inside and figure out who this person was, how they looked like, and any useful information. I knock and there seems to be someone in there. Could it be the person I needed to take a picture from? This would be the fastest mission I had ever done. Hello, unknown citizen. Could you provide me with more information about yourself and whoever lives with you, if somebody lives with you in this place? Of course, I didn't see any fingerprints next to them. I was gonna have to ask for it. Were they willing to give it to me? Possibly not. Hello, what is your name? Or could you provide me your fingerprints for an investigation? Either. Can I come and look around? Oh, she said yes. Maybe she's willing to give me all the information I need. Or maybe I don't even need to ask it. You know, I could just barge in and start looking around. So we have the bathroom, a small kitchen, and a bedroom. Alright, we're getting somewhere. I already know that you can get information from files people tend to keep on their closets, which I start to look for. First, the drawers. You never know, there could be extra information like notes of how to get to somewhere. Dear Kurama, how are you? Haven't heard anything from you in so long. I know the fields have rules about external fraternization. The fields? The heck is this going on about? I don't even know. You know, I'm just gonna head over to the closet, straight to the closet. This is gonna have probably enough information about who is living in this place. From the medical officer, this is to Haruka Abe. Was this person the one that led me into the house, or was it the person I needed to take the picture from? No idea, there were no fingerprints, but at least having a name was good enough. Next file. Oh, I opened the same file. Whoops. When I used the flashlight. Whoops. Oh, just one file. Elsa Jenkins, medical officer, to Kenya Hendricks. Okay, so 2 people were living in here. So I needed to make sure who I needed to take the picture from. Was it Mrs. Hendricks or Mrs. Abe? Or Mr. Abe? I don't know. Let's look into the next one. This is the employer where the person works. Huh! Well, first I need to figure out who I needed to take the picture from. And once I figure that out, I could go to their office and find them there, take the picture there, or wait for them at home. Because possibly they were currently at work. Okay, so Haruka Abe was the person I needed to take the picture from. I have confirmation of it. but I don't have a picture. It would be preferable to have a picture to at least have an idea who am I taking the picture from. But it was definitely not the person who let me in, because that seems to be Kenya Hendricks. At least it kind of pointed out to that. I had also the workplace of the target industries. Kenya worked as a tenant on a different building, not in here. Well, at least she had a job. I found other information that wasn't that useful, like bank statements, certificate of birth from both people. But neither of this was helpful because I didn't have a picture of how the person looked. I could just straight up... Oh, she was going to bed. You're going to bed? Okay, this is Kenya Hendricks. I was just gonna let this person go to bed, and meanwhile, it didn't seem anybody else was at home. She was gonna go to sleep. She gave me pass, so it didn't matter if I was still hanging around. I turned on a couple of lights, and I started planning what to do now. I could go to the workplace of this person, or I could just simply stay here and wait for my victim to come in. My target, sorry, not my victim. I'm not gonna murder the person. But I could wait for the person to get here, back home, and just take the picture and run for it, instead of going to the workplace and possibly find myself in a more difficult situation. So I decided to do just that, while I rummaged through more of their personal information. That really wasn't gonna be any helpful, but why not do it? I'm a detective. I like to scrub around, look around, and find more information about people. Work rota. Oh, so this was the work time of Haruka Abe, and she will be back at 17 hours. What time was it? Oh, okay, 1 hour before she got back from work. I could definitely wait an hour, and possibly by the time I finish with this assignment, this mission, everybody would have left from Purple Limited, Owen's workplace. So, waiting time is on. After waiting for, I thought it was just gonna be 1 hour, I waited for almost 2 hours for this person to get home. She never did. I'm still waiting. And I lost my guest pass into the house, so if I get back in, it's gonna be trespassing. So, oh, hello? Who are you? This is it. This is Haruka Abe. This is the person I need to take the picture from. Okay? How are you? I'll be better. The painkillers worked. I'm sorry to hear that. She goes inside. I take my camera immediately because I'm already trespassing. She closes the door on me, but I can clearly open it up. And I immediately take the picture. After this, I pin the picture and start booking it outside. I run away from them. I am hoping to get them off my back as I turn this corner, because I remember very clearly, as long as you keep running in corners, they are never gonna catch up to you. Unless they are enforcers. Enforcers are cruel and grueling beasts of detectives and policemen. I get further enough away from the scene, and it is now time to take this in and solve the case and get the money, which I very much need. I go back to the hotel where I deliver the previous case. And this whole situation of running around up and down doing freelance work, you know, it's fun doing the taking pictures, but I've seen the other job listings, like humiliation, destruction. Probably the one about arresting people I will totally do, but the others, I don't think I will ever partake in that. I get to the place and hand in the case. Processing, of course. I await patiently and finally get both my social credit and more amount of money in my account. I'm the best detective, that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna think. If you ever need help just beep me and I'll be there. I just needed to figure out who was the Vermilion villain. Who was this person that murdered Owen Morrell?